Ela aí. Ó, chega aí, gente. Chega aí.
Guerrilha.
Tá assim.
Sabrina! Sabrina, I am conceiving
Yeah, it's been exciting to be able to
Ladies and gentlemen.
hear what everyone
Bate
has
uma
to
palma.
say.
Que dá bom dia pra mulher também, né?
I have some few supporters out there.
Ele tá rolando agora aí.
So, you know, I see them around and I appreciate them a little more for that. But it's been really exciting to just be here at this amazing event, being able to represent myself, my team, the league, in a three-point competition with the greatest shooter that the game has ever seen.
Sabrina, it seems like
We're staying on
it's a little bit. What? Sorry. Questions over here.
I think they're going in order. I think these crossover events are a huge stepping stone in that direction, just continuing to provide us with the platform to be able to come out here and show out. I saw Jewel and Natasha Cloud were in the celebrity game, and I think the opportunity for us to be in our off season right now and get people out here in the greatest event that there is, you know, during this NBA season, and being able to showcase our talents, but people continuing to familiarize themselves with players and teams. Yeah, I mean, you know, that decision to move to the NBA line was something that I wanted to do from the beginning, to just continue to push boundaries and equal the playing field, and knowing that I had the opportunity to do that in terms of picking where I wanted to shoot from and just continuing to move the needle in that direction is what I wanted to do. And no matter how challenging or difficult that decision seems, I'd rather go down fighting for what I believe I'm capable of doing. Yeah, I think it's huge, being able to be a role model for a lot of young girls, and knowing that they're growing up in a society where they're able to watch us and they're able to go to games and watch us on TV, attend our camps, get to know us as people as well as mentors. And I think that's the huge part of the continuing growth of the league, and especially in college and high school as well, is there's going to be a lot of young girls that have role models that are playing right now that they can look up to and aspire to be like. Yeah, I think you can tell the difference between people who have that mindset and all the athletes that don't. In terms of, you know, I think everyone that's been asked Steph or Sabrina has never once thought about, if I'm in the WNBA and he's in the NBA, it's just let the best shooter win. And I think being able to bring that on this biggest stage, in terms of both of us viewing the game like that, and both being very competitive and wanting to win this competition, opens the eyes of a lot of people in terms of how they view these competitions, and then in turn how they view our sport. Well, I've only been in one, so I've been watching my own, because that's, you know, I got 37, so hopefully I can get in the 30s. But I think just the opportunity to come out here and do what we're doing, I know a lot of people have been talking about it, and it's the first of its kind and hopefully not the last. Well, they understand what it takes to be the best in our sport, and we work out with them, we play with them. They ask us for advice, we talk to them. You know, it's kind of just that nod and mutual understanding of sport, and basketball is basketball, and we work just as hard, if not harder, and continue to put the time in to be the best, you know, that we can be in our sport. And they understand that because they go through the same grind as we go through, mentally and physically, and being able to have them use their platforms and show up to games and continuing to promote the game because they believe so, not because it's a box that they can check, speaks volume about who they are as individuals and how they continue to show up for us the same way that we show up for them. I mean, I'm excited to see who else is going to be able to participate in this. Obviously, there's great shooters in our league. There's great shooters that are up and coming. And so it'll be exciting to see how this continues to unfold. I have no idea what it's going to look like next year or the following year, but hopefully we're able to have a great turnout and a lot of excitement around it, and continuing to have this be something that happens every All-Star. To just keep believing in myself. You know, 10 years ago, I never would have thought this was possible, and so being able to be up here, and now it being the day that we're able to go out there and play, no matter what happens, it's a blessing and an opportunity to even be in the same conversation as Steph, and to be able to see how much he's respected me as a player and a basketball player and a person to want to come out here and do this. And he wants to beat me, so I could tell you that he's not taking it easy. He was out there booing me as I was practicing yesterday and trying to get in my head. So you know, obviously we're great friends, and you know, I look up to him, but once we get out there, we're both trying to win. I think it speaks a lot about who we are as individuals and competitors.
What's at stake? I mean, what do you want to win? What's the most important thing to get out of this?
To just continuing to push the game forward. I think the opportunity for me to be out here, and obviously represent myself, but to really understand what it's doing for the next generation of athletes that are growing up watching this, that are here in attendance, being able to see us on an equal playing field, competing against one another. I think it's going to open up the door for many other opportunities to come, not only across basketball, but other sports as well. And so I know we both understand that that's the door that we're opening and bridging that gap, and we're doing so obviously with respect for one another, and honored to be able to be the first to do that. I mean, if I wasn't nervous, I don't think I'd be human. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this day for a while. Yes, shout out to my fans in Brazil. I want to thank you guys for supporting me and supporting me last year and continuing to support me this year. I need all the support that I can get and all the good luck my way. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You know, obviously that is probably the top, and I think being able to do something so many years later, and just kind of that same conversation speaks a lot about where we're at in women's sports right now and how we're continuing to just push for more and not backing down. It would have been really easy for me to say that I was scared of the moment and not want to come out there and embarrass myself or be afraid of failure, and I didn't do that because I understand who I am and the belief in myself, but also what it's going to show so many young girls that are watching, that they could go out there and they can beat a boy on the playground, or they can play for a boys team, or they can go out there and be the best on their girls team. And I think having that in the back of my mind, always understanding that that's what I'm playing for, overrides any fear that I have of not coming out here and winning. Yeah, it's huge what Caitlin's been able to do in the college game, continuing to push it forward. She's selling out every arena she's going to, and you know, obviously the WNBA is excited to bring her in market wherever she's going to end up, and continuing to push the game. I think the more players that we continue to have, you know, the better it is that we're going to be able to enter different marketplaces and have different fan bases and continuing to break records. And so excited to see her finish out her senior year and figure out what she's going to do, whether she's going to stay or go. But regardless of what she's doing, she's changing the game of basketball.
Anyone around here that shops and mentioned you, talk about the shoes that you wear. What is that kind of between you? As you try to wear yourself and brand.
Yeah, well, I told Derek, thank you for wearing my shoes, and to be able now to hear that he was excited about that interaction is means a lot to me. It's obviously an honor and humbling to know that. But for me, I just feel like every time someone's in them, I'm just so thankful. There's never this, sense of. There's ever the sense that passes me that I never take it all in and enjoy every single time I'm able to see someone in my shoes, and knowing that he's wearing a woman-created shoe and he's proud to wear it and wears them almost every single game. It's just a nod to what I tried to accomplish with those shoes, is just continuing to bridge the gap between men's basketball and women's basketball, and being able to see that on the biggest stage. I couldn't do anything less than thank him. Yeah, I mean, I think this game could take on a life of its own with the crossover between both, whether it's in a skills challenge, a three-point challenge. I know if I win, he's going to want to have a rematch. If I lose, I'm going to want to have a rematch. So regardless, I think with this going back into the Bay next year, me being from the Bay and him playing there, I think we could take on a life of its own and be able to continue to build this out and see where it goes. So I'm excited for what the future has to hold with this competition.
Sabrina, yesterday was supposed to a lot of the young players for the Rising Stars Challenge, but how most of them were raised by spotlight to actually be able to make a name for themselves. You briefly touched on it already, but how does that spotlight feel to you as a woman player in a position that sits, women versus men, and really leveling the landscape?
Yeah, it's huge. Anytime you're able to be a part of All-Star Weekend, no matter how big or small, it's just a nod to the work that you've been able to accomplish and where you're at in your career. All those players that are in the Rising Stars and in the celebrity game and in the actual All-Star game, whether you're a reserve or not, you stand out, and it's because of all the hard work that you've put in and what you've been able to do for your team. And so it's never taking that lightly, and knowing this is in the middle of their season, but being able to kind of take that in. And for me, being able to be out here, a part of this weekend that I've been able to watch for so many years. I've always watched the NBA All-Star Game and wanted to be able to come and be a part of it. And now knowing that I am, I'm just soaking it all in and enjoying every single moment. I mean, I always bet on myself, no matter who I'm going against, so I'd never pick anyone else.
Do you find yourself thinking about Paris 2024 at all? Where's the Antwerp like, and kind of playing together with that team, and what it looked like?
Yeah, it being an Olympic year, it's exciting to know what's coming ahead, and obviously being a part of the qualifying team. I was in Belgium about 4 or 5 days ago, competing and understanding what's to come. And obviously I'm going to do everything that I can to be on that Olympic team. That's something that I've dreamed of since I was a little girl, is being able to wear USA across my chest and represent my country. And so going to continue to just trust in the process and be the best player that I can be, and whatever happens, happens. Yeah, sleep's been minimal. I don't know what time zone I'm on, from being in Belgium to Los Angeles and then here. It's been a whirlwind, but I wouldn't want it any other way. And so I'm excited to kind of get back into the States and get on a kind of more traditional time zone and get back into the gist of things. But it's definitely been a busy couple weeks for me, and I'm excited to be here and be able to finally have the day come that we're able to have this shootout. Yeah, I mean, why not there be a penalty kick shootout, right? I think it'd be cool to continue to see how this can evolve in other sports. Obviously, it's happened in tennis, but I know it's happened in golf as well, with continuing to just create opportunities for women to go out there and present themselves and prove a lot of people wrong. I think it's going to change the narrative and kind of shift the way a lot of naysayers believe in what we're capable of doing. And obviously, that doesn't happen overnight. It's going to create kind of this ripple effect, and over time I think we're going to be able to continue to advocate for what we believe in, and that's ourselves. Say that again. Okay. I just practiced yesterday, so that's my only practice that I've had off of a rack. So I wouldn't say I've prepared any way in particular. Obviously, I work out every single day, and so I'm always shooting the basketball, and so that's been something that I've been doing this entire off season. So I haven't particularly practiced for this in any other way, but continue to want to practice further and further, and not shooting from the W line, and being able to kind of move the line back, and give myself a challenge in wanting to continue to kind of move the needle, and not being scared of what's going to happen if I don't win. I don't think that's the end goal. Isn't to win or lose this match. It's just to be able to understand what it means to be able to do this, and have someone like Steph respect me and enough to want to come out here and beat me. Yeah, it's impressive. He does it night in and night out. Has done it his entire career, and what he's meant for the game of basketball, and just his mentorship across the league. I think any player that you talk to across both leagues, and just in the sports world in general, continues to applaud LeBron for what he's meant for the sport, and as a businessman, and just as a mentor, and being able to kind of carry that role and weight on his shoulders. And so for me, it's been admirable to be able to watch him do what he's done for so long, and what he's meant for the sport, and hopefully I can continue to just learn bits and pieces of how he's been able to carry himself, and take that into my daily life as well.
Good time for two more.
Yeah, I mean, Clay, Steph, players that I've been watching since I was young, and they're obviously both one of the greatest shooters that this game has ever seen. And so to be even in conversation in a sentence with them speaks a lot about where I'm at in my career, and where I'm at as a shooter, knowing I have so much more to improve. And so I would love to get in a gym and shoot with them, and kind of battle it out and see who wins. Yeah, it's huge for the college game in general. I think understanding how it's continuing to create bigger fan bases, more eyes are watching, tickets are being sold on TV. It's just creating more of a momentum, and understanding that all those players come into the league and bring that fan base and continue to change and evolve our game. And so it's been really exciting to see what she's been able to accomplish, and what so many players in college have been able to do. That's continued to just move the game in the right direction. Thank you.
Go ahead on the right.
Steph, Andy Schultz, CNN Sports. Sabrina went out there and put up an incredible score, really put the pressure on. You know, you're the greatest shooter of all time, but were you a little nervous after her performance?
Absolutely. I saw the first rack. I think she made the first 6, I believe, maybe 7. I was having flashbacks of watching this summer, and she set a really great number. We were just talking about it. No matter what competition, whether it was this or the regular 3-point competition, we would have both been in the advance to the next round. So it added a lot of pressure for sure, and you just wanted to get it off to a good start, settle in. Thankfully, made enough to get over the top, but that was perfect. The way, great entertainment, great shooting, both sides, and awesome 70 seconds for both of us.
Sabrina, after you cleared that first rack, what was going through your mind?
Honestly, just happy that we were able to get out there and start shooting. Obviously, there was a lot of build up to this and excitement around it, and so I was just excited to be able to finally have the opportunity to get out there and just shoot, to be honest.
Dave, right here.
Sabrina, Dave McBennett with ESPN. Let's be real here. Like, if you got to shoot second and you were the target scorer, you're walking away with the belt, right? Like, come on.
I mean, we were talking about just getting a second round. Like, I think we both finally just kind of got warm after sitting for a while and wanted to run it back. So maybe we'll be able to evolve that next time. But obviously, Steph won for a reason, and I'm going to have to try and beat him next time.
On the front and right.
Sabrina, when you look at like what you're able to do tonight, how much do you think that'll help the game of basketball? I know people always say women's basketball, but skill, shooting is for everyone.
Yeah, just basketball as a whole, I think. Being able to have this crossover and understanding the respect that I've been able to receive from a lot of the NBA guys. I mean, just knowing that Steph wanted to do this as well in terms of just respecting another shooter. And I think it's going to show a lot of young kids out there, a lot of people who might have not believed or even watched women's sports that were able to go out there and put on a show. And so it was really exciting to finally be able to do this. And like Steph said, it happened perfectly.
Rachel over here.
Hey, Steph. What do you know about Sabrina that you knew even coming into the night that this was going to be extremely competitive?
We were talking about it yesterday. When I first met her back in the Bay, when right before the Oregon, rocket ship went off, you see a different demeanor and a different kind of killer instinct and a focus that. The skill is one thing, but the mentality is a totally different thing that you kind of can't teach. And she's, demonstrated that every step of the way. So I knew, no matter how the build-up was, there would be no stage that'd be too bright for her. And, the way that the competition went, the way she started was like, there's no fear and there's no kind of hesitation at all. She knows who she is. And she also works. Like that's the thing that you can't. The preparation, to get a skill set like she has and a shot like she has in an all-around game. Like there's work that goes into it. So it was demonstrated at a high level even tonight.
Sabrina was nice enough to share a photo of when she was 10 years old in the tunnel, seeing you and that moment for her. You gonna make sure Riley gets a photo with her?
We checked that box a couple years ago when she was at Oregon. We brought the girls to a game at Cal, and I was even saying just the way that she carries herself on and off the court. She understands the platform that she has, and she took 30, 45 seconds to talk to my girls and make them feel special, and took a picture and the whole deal. So she gets it, and it's a special gift.
Tim, 6th row back on this side.
Tim Reynolds with the Associated Press. Kind of for both of you. You guys combined to shoot like 75, 76%, something crazy like that tonight on a lime green floor in a football stadium, which is probably something neither of you is used to. How cool is it that not just you're able to do this, but you both put on a show? Like this wasn't, if this had been 21-18, this would have felt different probably. The fact that you were both able to put up a big number, how much more does that add to what you guys pulled off?
Everything you just said is, it goes into the form of like the entertainment value of what this, that was obviously it was a long build up for, 72nd rounds, but I've been to 10 All-Star weekend or a little bit more shooting 3-point contests. Like to have it with, the new floor and it was like 40,000 fans out here and people using the bathroom. Just all type of, chaos around here. Like for us to deliver, a show like that, it was perfect. Like just as much excitement that you can build in that short amount of time with, two great shooters going at it. So pretty special. This will be something we'll remember for a long time.
Third row center.
Steph, Guidel Padilla, Filter 360. Over your career, you have won many awards and you have an unbelievable career. How do you feel that having this challenge today contributed to women basketball, and it's going to go into history as at your top, you were able to give back to that society?
It's something you just live, like you don't do things just to check a box. And I'm stealing that from Sabrina. We mentioned like this is something, if you're supporting basketball and generally supporting women's basketball, it's something that you continually do, and you find new creative ways to have investment in the game. The fact that this is a first of its kind in our sport, the fact that it's on this stage, and the way that it went down, like the fact that it's supporting both of our foundations, the NBA Foundation as well. So there's a community impact, component. Like all of that is a step in the right direction, and we will always be able to say we were the first. So that's a really cool accomplishment.
Right here in the front.
Sabrina, this is the NBA All-Star Weekend where, historically all of the best players in the NBA have come and played and be celebrated. Right? You've come in here on a one-off event, the first of its kind, and you're not only a guest. You could argue this is maybe the highlight, the biggest event, the one that most people are excited the most about. What does it feel to, have a space that didn't even exist and be able to create it, to be able to come in, fill it, and at the same time deliver such a great performance?
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of been what both of us have done our entire careers, is just created our own space and done it our way and stayed true to ourselves. And this was so authentic for the both of us to be able to be here, finally not in a closed gym, shooting in front of everyone watching and understanding what it means for ourselves, but also the bigger picture, and knowing that this is where I wanted to be able to do this. And so obviously very thankful for everyone who's helped make this kind of dream that we both had a possibility, and knowing that it's changed the landscape of how people are going to view what we're doing. And we're very excited to see kind of what the future has to hold with more people having the opportunity to do stuff like this.
Next question here.
Steph and/or Sabrina, Lachlan from NBA Australia. I think we all agree this is going to have an incredible impact on basketball around the world. What do you sort of hope the immediate impact will be, and then what do you sort of see the longer-term impact being?
I think immediate has just changed the conversation on, for little boys and girls who are watching us play, like, doesn't matter what gym you show up to, don't discount, who's to your left or to your right. If they can shoot, and you can compete, and you can have fun. Hopefully we can be, I guess, models of what that looks like on the biggest stage. Long term, we'll see. It's like I said, it's something that will continue. Me personally, I know she's, an ambassador for basketball, for women's basketball. She's just getting started on her career, so I'll let her speak to that. But you continue to find, awesome ways to further the conversation on how amazing the women's game is. Getting the eyeballs on it, and continue to create energy around it. And this was a small step in that direction.
Last question in the center.
This might be obvious to some, maybe not to others, but I think the next iteration of this would maybe be bringing Caitlin Clark into this next year. I was just curious what you guys thought. Could we see that next year? And what you guys just think of her game as far as, being an elite shooter?
Well, we've been talking about finding different ways to change this up next year, and I think he has a partner in mind that's going to join him, and so I'm open to any partner that could help me win and take that belt that he has up front and center away from him.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.